This game doesn't mean very much, but it is a warning of what the Avs cannot afford in the playoffs. Avs lose to the San Jose Sharks 3-2.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wasn't it time? Score! Justice is served!
The recipe for this game was pretty simple. The Avs' best players were extremely disappointing. McKinnon seemed stuck in neutral, Rantanen was not distributing the puck well and struggling to find where he needed to be, and Gabe Landeskog was just kind of there. More troublesome is those three were better than what is supposed to be the Avs' top pairing currently in Toews Makar and Toews. It is hard to win any game when your top players are struggling, but what makes this one particularly frustrating is the Avs didn't need them to be great. They just needed them to be decent, and they probably could have won. Not a ton to talk about in the first period. Avs controlled possession, but it was relatively even beyond that, and neither team had anything to show for it. Moving on, the second period, the Avs did get the upper hand, and were the better hockey team honestly through the first two periods, but especially for 19 minutes and 30 seconds of the second period. They controlled play, and while their top line did not really give them anything to show for it, they still were in the driver's seat, and as the period wore on, they got rewarded by their depth, straight up just outworking San Jose. This goal is brilliant from a hard-working hockey standpoint. Couldn't think of a better player to get it. Tyson Jost gets the Avs the lead. I can't roll this clip back far enough to show you everything Jost did on this shift because it would be like a 5-minute clip, because he's already taken a big hit in the neutral zone, gotten back up, made an aggressive forecheck, taken a puck away on the back check, and now re-entered the zone up the boards to create this play in the first place. So it's already been a Herculean effort, and the work just continues as he's able to drag not one, not two, but three Sharks to him on the wall here before ultimately getting it back up to the point. Just unbelievably good work from Jost this entire shift long, and honestly the entire game long. From there, you have McDonald back in the lineup, by the way, working the puck over to Nemeth. Nemeth gets this shot to the net. Effective work here. Sharks completely discombobulated here. Not covering very much ice at all. As the shot gets through, it rebounds out hard, and it's Jost tracking the puck well, moving into the open space, the man to get to the puck first, and then, once he collects it, he's extremely patient, does not panic, gets the puck to his backhand, has the space to work with, and goes roof daddy because he can. That is playoff hockey. You get goals like that, where you outwork a team, you just keep grinding, you have no quit, and eventually you take advantage of mistakes. That's how you win playoff hockey games. The Avs get the 1-0 lead there, and it doesn't take long for them to extend it to 2-0 as they are finally starting to see scoring from that mercurial second line. You'll notice this play does not start very well. Yes, this is Connor Timmins falling over at the blue line after he missed a puck. So it's essentially a partial breakaway for San Jose to start. Noah Gregor gets stoned by Philip Grubauer, which is awesome. And it's very common, for whatever reason, in the NHL. A high-danger chance one way that gets beat, you see a high-danger chance come back the other way, as Timmins eventually recovers, makes the nice poke check there to get the Avs going the right direction, and then it bats off him again. He continues to battle. He gets bailed out, but then he comes back and makes a good play the other way to get the Avs going. Kadri collects and is going to hit Burakovsky coming up the near wing after they get to the blue line, and Burakovsky has not been defended well. He has time. He's going to take advantage of it, and it turns out Andre Burakovsky is, in fact, a pretty good shooter. He beats Coronar clean. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Alex Newhook played in this game, by the way, his first ever NHL game. He looked pretty darn good. There were flashes of the player that everyone hopes he can be. Proof of concept that his game works at the NHL level. With less than 2 minutes to go in the second period, you have to think the Avs are feeling extremely good. You get to intermission at that score, and you're kind of cruising into the third. However, the Avs make the fatal mistake. The last minute of a period goal giveaway We've seen it happen a million times in this league, and we'll see it happen a million more, but every single time, it's just such a big momentum swing. 23 seconds left in offensive zone faceoff for the Avs. They should be out of this period. It shouldn't even be a question, but weird decisions get made. The Avs aren't even forechecking that aggressively. You have McKinnon covering back. But Devon Toews just makes a crazy choice here that doesn't make sense. Instead of keeping the play in front of him, he steps up into somewhat of no man's land, which forces him to have one play available to him. Intercept the pass, or he's beat. He does not intercept the pass, as it is a good one up off the boards around him, and just like that, it is an odd man rush. For San Jose, McKinnon gets caught a little bit in the neutral zone. He tries to get back, but isn't quite quick enough, and that is a big problem as Toews obviously going to get beat up the ice as well because he stepped up into the play. All of a sudden, it's a 2-on-0. Yeah, you can't do that to your goaltender. You just can't. Just a tough one to give up, and unfortunately that momentum carried through. At the start of the third period, the Avs had nothing left in the tank, seemingly, and the Sharks were hungry. It was the Sharks that dominated the period. It took less than 3 minutes for them to even the score. Maybe a little bit of revenge for the Sharks here, as it's their turn to win an offensive zone faceoff and produce off of it. This puck comes out to the blue line. It's not anything fancy. The shot is going to come from a forward out up high. It gets through. Grubauer gives up a rebound that he really shouldn't have here. But rebounds happen, and you'll notice the Avs defense has completely abandoned their goalie and Tomas Hertl in front of him. You can't leave a dude net front that wide open. You need to be in the vicinity of the guy at the very least, because if you're not, he'll collect the puck and beat your goaltender. So the Avs might want to guard Hertl if they ever play the Sharks in the future. I'm just throwing it out there. The rest of the period was pretty much the Avs clinging on for dear life, and they couldn't even manage to do that effectively as they take a penalty less than halfway through, and the Sharks score the game-winning goal. Another clip that I can't quite make long enough, the Sharks have made Donskoy in the center of the Avs ice look like Swiss cheese. They can just pass at will through the center of the ice on this power play, and it's not been pretty to this point. They continue to do it as Kane gets to walk in. Joe's trying to commit out up high. This leaves this pass all on Donskoy and I guess a little bit on the defenseman behind him, but it's very obvious whose job it is to not let this pass through. The problem is the Avs get completely discombobulated with some nice passing from the Sharks. Credit to where credit's due. Kane finds the open man down low, and they use their feet. They're moving. Great movement from the Sharks here. Something I think a lot of people would like to see more out of from the Avs. But ultimately, it's the Sharks that take advantage. They continue to work. This is not anything fancy, but the Avs just get a little bit caught by this cycle play, and eventually the slot just opens up. Kane fires it through. Donskoy gets caught out high. Or, you can blame the defenseman for being too low. Whatever you want. That's fine. But the pass goes right through, and Grubauer is extremely slow to move across. There is no hope. Just not a good period at all from the Avs. You expect better out of them, and again, they probably shouldn't have even been in this situation in the first place with just a bit better play from their top-end players. Grubauer could have played better as well. I don't really have a ton to say about it. It's a little bit concerning. I think his lateral movement does not look great, but you can chalk that up to rust to a certain extent. Again, this game doesn't matter. The Avs still are in control of their own destiny. If they win out, they will still be the Western Division champs. No one can stop that at this moment. But they also have to know that they need more out of their best players when it comes to the playoffs. Sometimes the simple lessons are the best ones to take away, and these things happen. Your best players aren't going to be amazing every single night. They're going to have off nights. The entire team is going to have off nights. It happens. You just have to prevent it from happening 2, 3, 4 times in a row. That's where this next game is important. Get back on the track and just keep rolling towards the playoffs. If that happens, again, we won't remember this game at all. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com. Sign up for a membership to help support me and all of us. I am Rudo, and man, we really have a bunch of 8 o'clock starts left. It's going to be some late nights.